Good morning! Good morning! Andito ulit ako at magbabasa ulit. Have a nice day ahead sa lahat ng manunood, makakapanood nito, yung video na to. So, andito na tayo sa chapter 7. Diba? Men speak male and women speak female. It is obvious to a woman when another woman is upset and needs to talk in order to feel better. It is also obvious when her talking has been successful in releasing stress. To men, none of the above is obvious at all. It is as if men and women secretly speak different languages with a whole series of conflicts and different verbal, physical, and emotional signals. Here's a graphic example. Bob and Marge before. Bob and Marge have been married for 6 years. They love each other very much, but just don't understand this basic difference between men and women. When Marge comes home from work feeling overwhelmed, Bob can't tell she's upset. Marge, what's wrong? He asked, trying to be friendly and supportive. Signing deeply, she answered, everybody wants something from me. I feel like I have to do everything. Bob immediately feels frustrated. He is trying to help, but he hears her blaming him for how she feels and begins to get defensive. What do you mean you do everything? That means I don't do anything? No, I am not saying you do nothing. I am saying I feel like I do everything. That doesn't mean you do nothing. It's just how I feel. Can't I express my feelings without you taking it personally? Bob reacts, saying, listen, if you say you do everything, then that means I do nothing. If you say everyone wants something from you, it means that I want too much from you. But I didn't say you wanted too much from me, Marge countered. I said I felt like everybody wants something from me. I wasn't singling you out. I was just expressing the feeling that I can't be everything to everyone. Bob, getting angrier, says, sure, sure, you do it all, and I do nothing. You know what I think? I think it doesn't even matter what I do. It's never enough. No one could make you happy. Why can't I just express my feelings without everything being about you? Marge demands. I'm not saying it's your fault. I just want you to let me talk. Right, replies Bob sarcastically. I knew I couldn't talk to you. Inwardly, Marge is deciding to never again discuss her feelings with Bob. You can talk to me, Bob calls after her as she storms out of the room. Just don't be so negative. Why we argue? At this point, ay, good morning! Morning yang! Musta si lalabs mo? Busy-busy si lalabs. Si kaso sa ba? Agusan? Ba to? Keep the keep the love. Enjoy, enjoy. Basa lang ako dito ha, yang. Why we argue? At this point, Bob feels blamed and appreciated, while Marge feels even more overwhelmed. As in most arguments between men and women, Bob doesn't understand that Marge just needs to talk about her feelings in order to feel better. Like most men, he makes the mistakes of taking her literally and trying to correct her. He has not yet learned the new skill of listening without feeling blame. Like most women, Marge expects Bob to understand that she wasn't blaming him and doesn't even realize that there are new relationship skills she could apply to prevent him from feeling blamed or unappreciated. When a man is unskilled in correctly translating what a woman means, it becomes increasingly difficult for him to be sympathetic listener. Salamat te, sige po, aminor ako din. Salamat! Lagi ganahan ko magkuan. Ay, naminaw. Smart. Salamat yan sa support. Surname 39 63 75536. Okay. When a man is unskilled in correctly translating what a woman means, it becomes increasingly difficult for him to be sympathetic listener. A man cannot tune in when he feels his efforts are unacknowledged and unappreciated. Although her overwhelming feelings may have little to do with him, he takes them personally. Instead of understanding what is happening and using a new relationship skill to remedy the situation, Marge feels like giving up. Bab's natural resistance to listening to her feelings signals to her that she is not loved and will never get the support she needs. This only compounds the problem and increases her feelings of being overwhelmed and isolated. Bav and Marge after. After retraining in new relationship skills, Bav has learned to dodge Marge's emotionally charged words and not feel blame. Marge, in turn, has learned to prepare him for her feelings and thus make it easier for him to dodge the bullets. Now, after much practice, their conversation sounds like this. Marge, what's the matter? Bob asks. Marge pauses to think about how to prepare him so that he won't feel criticized, then says, thanks for asking. Pause. I had a terrible day. Another pause. I just need to talk about it, and then I'm sure I feel better, okay? Sure, Bob is now prepared. He knows he really doesn't have to do anything to make her feel better. This allows him to relax and listen without having to think about solving her problems. Everyone wants something from me, Marge tells him. I feel like I do everything. Once Marge has set the stage and prepared Bob, she doesn't need to edit her feelings and can freely express them. Free expressions is essential if she is going to let go of her frustrations. This time, Bob is not frustrated because he understands he just needs to talk. He easily dodges the bullets of frustration and simply listens. When she pauses, he invites her to say more with a warm, sympathetic. "Hmm." Today, Marge tells him, I was supposed to finish the books when Richard called. He still hasn't paid his bill, so I had to go to the bank and make a wire transfer. Hmm. Bab responds with empathetic annoyance, and Marge goes on. And there was so much traffic. It didn't used to be that way. Everything's Everything's happening too fast. There's too much to do for too many people and no time. Everybody's rushing. It's crazy out there. Bob shakes his head in agreement, and she tells him, when I finally got back to work, there were fifteen messages on my voicemail. I just don't have the time to run around doing errands for everyone. Bav validates her irritation. I mean, I handle them, but it's just all too much. It's awful, Bav exclaimed, moving closer to her. Marge, Marge, you give so much of yourself. Let me give you a hug. After the hug, Marge takes a deep breath as if she just let go of a heavy weight and exhales slowly. I really needed that. I am so glad to be home. Thanks for listening. Marge is careful to acknowledge herself. Throughout this conversation, Bev remembers not to minimize or argue with her overwhelmed feelings. Instead, he skillfully support her by focusing on her female side and not keeping her in her workday male mood by trying to help her resolve her problems. To do the best of his ability, he is trying to talk her language. The benefits of improving communication. Through updating and improving their communication skills, Bav and Marge not only avoided arguments, but were able to solve the real problems. Marge feeling overwhelmed and overworked, and Bav feeling defeated and appreciated. With the basic traits of female, Bav was able to nurture Marge's female side, while Marge was able to appreciate Bav more. Marge was able to release her overwhelming feelings by being able to talk about them in an uninhibited manner. In female, Bab was able to feel appreciated because he had provided Marge with the emotional safety and support that she needed in order to feel better. Although Bab was not his family's sole provider, he could still feel needed and appreciated in his new role as a skilled listener. Although Marge was not happy and fulfilled when she got home, she was happy to see Bob. And soon after their conversation, straight, 1964. Stay home, stay home. Although Bob was not his family's sole provider, he could still feel needed and appreciated in his new role as a skilled listener. Although Marge was not happy and fulfilled when he got home, she was happy to see Bob, and soon after their conversation, she was much happier and very appreciated of him. Without focusing on solutions to her problems at work and at home, Marge was able to release his feeling of panic and begin to return to her female side. Most couples today are not fluent in each other's language. When they talk, they experience increasing frustration instead of fulfillment. Quite commonly, the relationship becomes another of the woman's burden rather than a way to find release from them. For the man, the relationship increasingly signals his defeat rather than giving meaning to his life. When we consider these new stresses on relationship and family life, in the absence of traditional support systems, it is no wonder that it's so hard to stay together, and it explains why millions choose to be single. Neither sex is being nurtured and supported in the ways that matter most because they are speaking different languages. Breaking the language barrier. As we've discussed, it no longer has to be that way. For instance, male frustration could be helped if at the end of an emotional talk, women could say any combination of the following. Thanks so much for listening. I just needed to get that out. I'm sorry it was difficult for you to hear. You can forget everything I just said. It doesn't matter as much now. I feel much better. Thanks for helping me sort this out and letting me talk. This conversation has been really helpful for me to get a better perspective on things. I feel so much better now. Thanks for listening. Wow, I had a lot to say. I feel so much better. I feel so much better. Sometimes I just need to talk about things and then my mood changes. I appreciate your patience and helping me to sort things out through talking. Any of these comments would be heaven to a man and would make him feel warmly appreciated. This is because in male, his native language, they have a special and positive significance. When a woman says in a friendly tone, it's okay, or it's no big deal, or it's alright, or even forget it to a man, it makes it easier in the future for him to listen. It also makes him remember what he did to upset her and try in the future to make things better. When a man begins to see how willing a woman is to forget the things that upset her, his tendency is to remember more and be more considerate in the future. When a woman says, "Thanks for listening, I know it was difficult to set through," a man tells himself in male, "It was tough, but I can handle it." The next time she is upset, he will be much more willing to listen because he's confident he can cope and he knows he will be appreciated. When, after sharing his feelings, a woman dispenses her feelings by saying, "Now that it's out, it doesn't matter as much," his male reaction is, "That's sweet of her to say, but I know how much it mattered to her. Next time, I'll try to be more sensitive." Mm, PM. 09 35 15 75 296. 0935 15 296. Bali 20? Ah. Unsa nga book imo gina-read te? Ay, kay John Gray. Kay John Gray, ano, yan, kani. Mars and Venus Together Forever. Relationship Skills for Lasting Love. Kanang kuan man ni siya, mas known ni siya sa katong pinaka primero niya nga book nga Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Pero si kuan na ni siya, na niya ka books. Wala siya yang. Dayon ko yang ha. Siya naman ko ato. When women can talk female. For a woman to restrict herself by only talking the way a man does goes against her instinct. It eventually prevents her from coping successfully with stress and disconnects her from the warm, open, loving, and feminine feelings that allow her to trust, accept, and appreciate life. It is very helpful for men to remember that women are instinctually suited to communicate as a means of sorting out their thoughts. Dili na kayo ko garid karon. Mubito na siya yang ang kanang unang ako ang ganahan kay kanang motong nagkuan kay ko ani nga kuan. Kay murag ako man kung last time tong usa sa ako ang goal is bala halimbawa magkuan ako, maggulang na ko, wala na ko'y trabaho. Magbasa na ko muna ko ginaisip magbasa na ko. Kung naisip na ko ngano wala tong pa man ako siya nga matigulang na ko nga bago ko magbasa. Nga based sa mga libro nga ako kung nabasa or mga sa video nga ako ang nakuanan kay kuan siya kanang dapat mag-spend jud og time sa pagbasa. Sumutong ko nga bitaw no wala pa man ako nga matigulang ko. So mo to siya. Ang ganahan ko dili na kay ko garid karon. Nice kay siya nice kani siya nga kuan ganahan kay ko kay ang psychological ano man good sa kanang side sa babae sa lalaki iyahang gitan-aw. Makita nimo sa katong previous na akong kuan nga maski dili nimo siya kuan non, dili nimo babasahon ang guy. Pero mas ideal nga both kamong duha magbasa ani nga libro. Pero kung usay dili man gud ganahan ang lalaki, may mga kuan po siya, mga advice po siya dito kani dinhi, mas naa po siya mga advice dinhi yang nga kanang naay pangutan-o na lang nimo ang lalaki kay ingon man daw nila nga ang lalaki is kanang feeling expert man daw na sila. So once i-question nimo siya nga tama ni nga kuan nga idea sa kanang nga wow ang ani nga relationship ana. Murag feeling nila ano medyo murag feeling nila appreciate nila ka tan-aw nimo expert sila. Ana. Medyo daghan ko ginabuhat. Oh, mo jud. Naa ka available story diha te. Katungkuan, nahulang ra po kog libro iyang katong isa katong Seven Habits of Highly Effective People mo to akong giuna ug basa. Tapos ang next na ako gibasa. Nice na ang next na ako kay 10 Lies About God. Tapos mo na siya ka libro kay ang ako man sa unang kuan kay sa isa ka bulan maski kaisa lang makabasa man lang ko kahit sa isa ka bulan makabasa ko isa ka libro. And katong next month try na kog duha pero wa man ako siya na meet pero mo tong i-continue na ko. Sige kuanan ta ka og kuan mahuman na ni siya. Hindi na ko siya kuan sa imo pahulam sabay mo magbasa ni ano mo lalab. Bitaw no siguro kay og i-argue nimo sila kay mag-clash na hinuon so I acknowledge na lang na tama na lang ilang idea. O na siya mga kuan na siya mga tamang preparation di ay siya nga kung kanus ani mo siya pansinon kung pag magtanaw sila TV dili kay nimo sila i-interrupt kay naa sila sa ilahang moment nga kanang mga warrior sila ba naa sila sa kanang ilahang time nga naga focus sila tapos interrupt nimo sila. Daghan kag bantayan nga kanang kung kanus ang lalaki naa sila sa ilahang cave nga dapat dili nimo sila disturbohon kay kung the more nga naa sila sa portion nga naa sila silang cave tapos sukat-sukaton nimo sila mos ni samot kag gubot kay mos mosamot man sila suksok dito sa ilahang cave. Na siya ang dinhi nga libro. Sige te, thank you. Sige, kuan lang ko, i-remind lang ko. Kadaghan ba day sabtuno eh? Nice jod na diha. Na diha na bukti. Oh, muna na siya. Dugay na binikini sa kuha na ano nga book. Walang jud nako siya kuanan. Ganahan mo kung mga psychological book na ano related sa life ba. Magsinabtanay jud mo. Ako daghan pa pugay ko nakuanan din hinga ha. Dapat day dili din ako kagahapon. Pero kagahapon na istoryahanay min mali na pud ito kung giingon nga. Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Kay mura gina judge na pud din ako siya. Ang gani. Hindi lang continue lang gihapon. Enjoy the moment. Sige ti, maminor ako ti. Continue lang rin. Sige, sige. Ako po. Sige, magbasa na ako. Saan mo ko dapita ato? Thank you! Hopefully. Ano siya, ma-workout siya yang. Puhon. It is very helpful for men to remember that women are instinctually suited to communicate as a means of sorting out their thoughts, clarifying their priorities, and exploring their feelings. As we have discussed, this is because early on in his history, women learned to cope with life's problem through talking all day and into the evening with other women. A woman's security was assured through talking and forming alliances and friendships. Just the act itself of talking brings up an instinctual feeling of security. With this increased security, she begins to think more clearly and can sort things out more effectively. In a loving way, in a very real sense, talking for women is like pump that generates greater clarity. Through helping her to speak female, he gives a precious gift. Without the opportunity to share freely, something very important to women is lost. Why men don't talk? For a man, it is the opposite. Silently achieving a goal generates an instinctual feeling of security. While doing seemingly meaningless tasks like waxing the car or driving a golf ball, a man can silently sort out his thoughts and concerns. He can clarify his values and priorities as well as develop a plan of action. He can forget the stresses of his day and begin to relax back into the joys of his relationship in the comfort of his home. This silent inner process gives him a sense of security. Pandemic wedding na yun. Kainjo ni mo yang tabangi ko pray, apil ko sa pray. Apil mi sa pray, kabalo ko naga-pray kayang kamong duha. He can forget the stresses of his day and begin to relax back into the joys of his relationship and the comforts of his home. This silent inner process gives him a sense of security. A hunter's survival and security were ensured by moving quietly and then successfully achieving his goal. Hunter spoke male, a language of few words. Silence is a man's bright right. When a woman feels free to talk, she feels greater security. Sharing about her problems and feelings is an authentic and natural expression of the way her brain processes information, in the way her nurturer as sensor survives. Nurturers spoke female, a language with an infinite vocabulary. Talking is a woman's birthright. Through understanding this crucial difference, men and women can more lovingly and effectively support each other. How men react to feelings. When a woman says she needs to talk, most men feel that they are being told they are doing something wrong. When she talks about problems, a man mistakenly assumes that he has failed her and that she will never be happy. When she wants to talk about the relationship, he does not know that she is just trying to find her female side again. He thinks she is only trying to criticize or change him. That is because he is hearing his remarks in male. Nakasulat na. Shorty will do po. Prayers up po you both. Salamat. God bless sa inyong marriage yang no isang imuhang partner kay kuan jud supportive pud kaayo no. Na-enjoy ko atong nanglabas siya. Na kay 20? Wala. 220 tanan. Ha? Asa? Hos? Piso? Okay na, ma'am. Okay na. Thank you. Okay na.
Ay, wala pa to.
Masama?
Wala sa nakuan tong kuan.
Ha?
Nakuan na to. Nakuan na dito 20.
Okay na, ma'am. Ha, Hos? Mm-mm. That is because he is hearing her remarks in male, while she is speaking female. Their lines of communication have completely broken down. A man who misunderstands female reacts in one of three basic ways. He offers a solution. A woman may just want her partner to listen and be sympathetic, but if he can't be, he should at least listen and not interrupt. Even making a sound like will signal that he is considering what she is saying and is trying to understand her. He minimizes her problems. He thinks this will make her feel better. What he doesn't know is that she is more concerned with discovering her feelings than with the accuracy of her description. He says things like, "It's not such a big deal. We don't need to talk about this. So what's the point? Well, there's nothing we can do about it now. Just forget it. I'll handle it." Number three, he invalidates her feeling. He mistakenly thinks he is helping her to analyze and correct her thinking, but ends up invalidating her feelings. He does not realize that she sorts things out as she talks. He says things like, "You shouldn't get so upset. Don't worry about it. I think you are overreacting. We have already talked about this." Non-goal oriented. Kabalo-kabalo na tawon siya gamay mag-hand wash. Lagi growing no as a couple. Nice siya. Mo jud buotan man kaya mo nang nagrasyahan jud kag supportive na happy. Kanang looking forward sa ano, more years. Eh nung baby na, pag baby na, non-goal oriented talking. When allowed to talk in a non-linear, non-goal oriented manner, pure female, a woman can reconnect with her female side and can most effectively cope with the stress of working in a traditional male role all day. If a man offers advice or tries to help her solve her problems, he is actually holding her in her masculine side, which wants to which wants to solve problems. He is demanding that she continue speaking, male, by allowing a woman to talk about problems without the urgency to solve them. He assists her in moving back towards speaking female. By simply responding with empathy, sympathy, and understanding, he nurtures her female side. With this kind of support, she is able to throw off her burdens and release her overwhelming feelings. Gradually, her energy returns and her heart is full of appreciation and love. If a woman is able to release her negative feelings in this way and not secretly cling to them, it will also assist a man in being more present in the relationship. When a man initiates a conversation, it sometimes is particularly helpful because women today are so much in their male sides that they don't even know they need to talk until they are asked. Particularly if she has been burned in the past while sharing her feelings, she will not consciously feel the need to talk. With a clear signal of a man initiating the conversation, she does not have to fear his lack of interest in what she has to share. Even when she does feel the need to talk, she sometimes doesn't know where to start. Kana ti patabang me pray pod he pod. For sure lakas ka kay Papa God unta moabot na si baby very soon. Oo, no? Puhon-puhon, moabot na si baby. Just enjoy lang sa ano, sa journey. Na yun mga ano, tawag dyan, eat healthy. More on moment jud siya ang kuan yang mga mabasa na ko healthy foods. Eat healthy foods tapos dapat dili ka ma-stress. Mo lang jud na siya ang pinaka ano sa mga kuan sa babae. Kay sila baya ang kuan baya, carrier baya ang babae. Pero dapat pod healthy pod si ano. Pero tan kuan ako sa imuhang hobby healthy man siya. Healthy man ang iyahang lifestyle. So dali ra na ma-develop si baby. Questions to help her open up when he is ready to listen. A man can assist a woman in opening up and letting her know he is ready to listen by asking any of these questions or making of this comment. Did you have a bad did you have a bad day? How was your day? I'm so glad to see you. Let me give you a hug. Is there anything I can do for you? Tell me about your day. You look good. Did you have a nice day? You look like you had a great day. You look tired. Are you upset today? How are you feeling? Murag diha jud ang mga rason ba not eating healthy foods ko. Oo, mag-eat ka og healthy foods. Hinahinayang ko anda ka magpagkaon na ano si ano, mga resources din hiya sa tua. More on kuan jud siya kanang preparation siya sa kuan gani sa imuhang kanang reproductive i-cleanse jud nimo siya kay para healthy ang iyahang balay sa baby. Si Habi healthy ang lifestyle kay naa jud siya routine mag-exercise. Ako ang questionable ti. Haha. Wa na jud tawon ko exercise. Sige raglingkod sa work. Bitaw no. So kuan tapos kuan siya yang kanang na, kuan ako sa mga video kay kuan siya. Kuan tag mga vitamins. Vitamins like kanang vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D, kay di kay ka mainitan permanente. O kuan, folic acid, kana nga ano, para healthy ang kuan daw. Not fond of eating vegetables. Fruits na lang. At first, mag-start lang ka sa fruits. Basta gano'n nimo ang fruits na ano, apple, grapes, tapos banana, kanang watermelon, ana. Maski dili na mo sa vegetables. Each statement conveys the non-demanding message that she is invited to talk briefly or at length. If she fires off a quick answer, you should assist her in saying more by responding with any of all the following four questions. What happened? Ay, oo, murag mauna ang ingon. Salamat. Yes!
Nagluto niyo, no?
Sa?
Saka to ako ang spirulina.
Ay,
Nagsaldo na lang siya. Gahapon ako na kayo nundong.
okay ra, uy.
Nagsaldo na sa ka rin na day.
Pero kumusta man ang kuha mo sa
Okay,
spirulina?
ako okay. Nagsaldo mo ginatake niya tambal siguro mga kuan ba?
Karon sa nimo siya gina-take?
Udto.
Ah,
Morning
udto.
mo na hote kaya ako ang vitamin C o folic acid niya akong CN kay na ako ito recommend na ano udto kay kato siya.
Ah,
Di ba siya pwede na mo ng gabi eh?
pwede man.
Ay, ang ako magtutulog at tambal kay puros mong gutulog.
Gabi.
Ah.
Ah, pero kuan siya after meal nimo siya gina-take.
Kuan, before meal.
Ah, before meal nimo siya gina-take.
Okay ra ba siya?
Pag before meal man gud siya, usual sa kanang mag-diet.
Ako na akong kailangan.
Ah, okay. So tama siya before meal jud siya iko ano. Kung morning medyo kuan pug ka.
Morning, okay ra sa morning. Ako ko try morning.
Okay, makatabang man siya nga dili kay kapatig ba.
Okay.
Ah,
Kasi bitaw no sa before meal man ako siya ginainom niya. Katong dura kay after meal man ako siya
oh.
Tama di abi. Morning lang yun ako siya.
Maski kuan gani siya, maski daghanon na ganito siya dito ano, Joy. Dili man siya ka organic man siya.
Ganit sagbot mo siya na.
Sagbot man siya.
Okay naman sa ako ate, wala man sige kuan lang yun siguro. Basta siya na mag-lightheaded lang ko sa high ba. Kay sa more siguro masugahan ako diet. Kada kay na ako ginainom.
Siguro
Ako sa kong tubig. Tubig mo yung ginapaspas.
Ah,
Oo, kaya ginapadiet mo ko sa doktor, di ba?
padayat jud ang iyahang ko ano. Cleansing man jud no, detoxing jud ang pinaka-importante kay para kuan ang ano, ma-prepare.
Bawal ko sweet, bawal ko tatagwar.
Ay daghang bawas sa imuha di ay. So dili na ka pwedeng mga sweets.
Mga
Kanang mga tamis-tamis.
makaon man ko, labi nakakuan ko sa akong lawas ba nga kaning murag kailangan ako sugar sa akong lawas, pero gamay ra kay.
Pero sa kuan nun di ay, ang kanang halimbawa, di ba kung mangita kag sweets, watermelon, imuhang inom mo. Ing anay lang. Oh.
Kay kanang mo sila ko kanang chocolate gamay lang kaani. Ano na akong cravings ba?
So sa pa mga bawal?
Kwanti, kanang karne.
Ay dili pwede karne.
Kanang mga feeds ang kinaon.
More on fish jud no?
Yang fish, dili po dingan kanang fish akong kaunon. Kaya nang bangos,
O kanang mga fish nga kanang ginakuan sa feeds, dili siya pwede. More on ka na lang yung kanang sa tuna,
sa gulay, wala
salmon.
akong ako sa gulay.
Mm.
Kaya lang, pero dili na ako may wasa ligid. Nakakaon man ko, pero maging kainin ko kay cheat day. Pero sa isa ko simana, katulong man.
Pero siguro, okay na siguro na siya, Joy. Oy, dili lang kain po nimo i-stress imong sarili.
Maganda akong
Ah.
na kayo. Samot ko sa stress. Wala ako mga feelings. Dili na ako kaunon.
Okay, katong ako ang amiga, kuha man to siya, wala po siguro to siya problem, pero ang iyaha lang gibuhat ato katong nag-share sa siya sa kuha kay ang ilang iyaha lang gibuhat ato no kay whole day sila nga wala ay gawas ng mag-asawa. Kanang nagtambak lang sila pagkaon tapos gi-enjoy lang jud nila ang day ato nga time. Tapos kay nabuo man. Oh, no, wala dyan sila kanang wala lang dyan sila giisip. Wala lang sila giisip nga ano. Tapos ang ingon pud siya sa kuha nga ayaw pud kay pagka sobra ka ayo siya. Oy kay unsa nila igawas ani ba sa menstruation lagi daw. Unsa pud gawas nga wa na kay kanang kuan ginasulod sa imuhang body. Nang okay na pud siguro panagsa lang dili pud kay stress. No, enjoy lang nimo. Abot lagi na pareha kay ano o Jewin o
Gani mo man among ginakuan to wala mo ko ginabron una ako ang mga days na bunyo karon sa una kung kinasila makikisisip na. Ano ba na ko.
maka-stress bitaw ang question. Maka-pressure siya.
Pero si oil abot na ng namo wala man ko dili yatay sa ginoo na panahon
Hmm.
dili jud imong magadali kay ma-pressure magugong wala karon kay wala sila nagapangutana kita ako mga karon.
Oh, ayoko i-pressure kay na. Uy, mo hulat-hulat mo kay gwapo kayo nag-produce. Alay, di na lang dyan ma-stress ang ako. Ah, sige, sige, Jai. Oh, ayaw ka problema. Each statement conveys the non-demanding message that she is invited to talk briefly or at length. If she fires off a quick answer, you should assist her in saying more by responding with any or all of the following four questions. What happened? Tell me more. Then what happened? How did that feel or how does that feel? However, if a woman asks a man any of the 10 questions above and he gives a curled reply, she should grant him space. If she needs to talk, she should ask if this is a good time. Signals that he can't listen right now. If a man is still too stressed by the pressures of the day to hear her, he must give her female partner clear signals. A way he can communicate that he is not yet ready to hear her is by simply saying any of the following phrases. I need to spend some time alone and then I'll be back. I need to spend some time doing XYZ and then I'll be back. I'm in my cave right now. I need to XYZ and then I'll be back. I'm in my cave right now. When I'm out, we can talk. It is important that a man feel free to make these statements. Any negative message can make it harder for him to come out. Some common messages a woman mistakenly gives verbally or with a look are as follows. But why now? But why? But we haven't spent any time together. Why can't you be there for me when I need you? All you need is yourself. Did I do something wrong? How could you leave me now? You are spending too much time away. You don't love me. I can handle this. I feel so abandoned and rejected. I knew it. You don't really care about me. But you have already been to the cave this week. Avoiding any of the above messages can give a man the freedom and support to pull away when he needs to so that he can come back sooner. Many times after a man has pulled away, he wants to come back, but he remembers her negative comment or message and is not sure that he will be welcome back. Then he has to deal with the problem of whether he has to apologize for pulling away when this is sometimes he needs to. Having to cope with the fear of her rejection when he comes back definitely prevents him from coming out until it becomes very clear that all is forgotten and forgiven. Helping a man duck and dodge. During a difficult conversation, there are many little comments or softeners that a woman can make to help a man duck and dodge so he can hear her feelings without becoming argumentative. Here are a few examples. Don't say, I strongly feel that, I am sure that, I don't think that's right, I feel like. No, that's not what I mean. I feel like. I disagree because I don't agree at all. I feel that's not true. I feel like. Do say, I am not completely sure about this, but I feel like. I don't really know if this is true for you, but for me it feels like. It's not that I have this all throughout, it's just a feeling. I feel like. I haven't really thought about this, but for this moment, I feel like. I have another way of looking at it. I feel. I don't know what's right, but I feel like. Based on my experience, I feel. Statements like this assures a man that his mate's word and feelings aren't written in stone. They remind him that the action of sharing feelings is a work in progress. Thus, a man can most effectively dodge criticism and avoid taking his partner's momentary emotions as facts. Each of the above example is equally useful for a man to apply as well. Many times a man will speak his ideas with such certainty that a woman feels he is not open to hearing her point of view. When a man uses softeners, it helps a woman feel free to share her perspectives. When a man withdraws into his cave, commonly, when men pull away into their private caves, women mistakenly think that something is wrong and try to pull their mates out. Misreading her needs, the woman thinks he is wasting time and begin to criticize him. A man is able to emerge from the cave only when he has substantially forgotten the problem of his day. When his wife is waiting at the door with more problems, he just won't come out, and it is her resistance to his being in the cave that actually keeps him there. The more women try to get their men to come out of the cave, the longer they will remain in it. To gradually draw a man back to the family is a crucial element of a woman's new job description. Here are the three basic steps they should take. Step 1. Give him lots of alone time and let him see that you don't mind. Encourage him to spend time with his male friends by not getting upset or feeling hurt when he expresses the desire to do so. Try to avoid crowding him or being critical. Remember that giving unsolicited advice is generally taken as criticism in the male language. Whenever possible, tell him how much you appreciate his efforts to succeed at work. If possible, act as if he is going into his cave is no big deal. When he returns and begins to be affectionate, be sure to let him know how good it feels. Step 2. Ask him to do specific little things for you and express your gratitude when he carries them out. For example, don't complain that he doesn't spend enough time with you. That's an accusation and will put him on the defensive. Instead, ask him to take you to a specific restaurant or movie on a specific day. Don't leave it to him to figure out where to go. Make it as easy for him as possible. Let him repeatedly express Let him repeatedly experience success in fulfilling you. That way, he will gradually associate pleasing you with releasing stress. Eventually, when he wants to distress, he will begin thinking of little things he can do for you. Step 3. This third technique is the most important and requires the most skill and practice. At chosen times, ask him to listen to your feelings. At such time, be careful not to offend him or give him the impressions that he is not doing enough. By preparing him to not by preparing him to not feel blame and appreciating him afterward for listening, you allow him to learn slowly to bring his awareness back to the relationship. Talk about problems and feelings. If he begins to be frustrated, Remind him that you are not asking him to solve your problems and only want him to listen. Without feeling the pressure of problem solving, he will relax and become an increasingly better listener. Even if a man knows that you are using new relationship skills with him, he will still be grateful. Keep in mind that men want to be in relationships. These three steps are just common sense when a woman understands how her partner's needs are different, just as she needs his support to listen to her feelings so that she can forget her problems. He needs her support to remember what is really important to him. Saman, kay
Ito, huwag lang ang dalaw. Ay, basta paper test.
nga pero murag ang bond paper ka A4 na lang siya ano kay brown
Oo, pila.
size. Asan diha sa health center?
Oo,
Ay, apil din hi. Nano man ako sa sinanay.
pick up ito. Isang adlaw lang. Ay, madami na.
Apil na siya gi ko anong diha sa anong sa bond paper.
Lain ng lawas. Ibigihan. Taas na. Kaya nagpupusap. Mga pila maganda. Okay, okay. Pick up lang yung tambal ba?
Mm. Pero di pa naa naman siya gitik.
Ha?
Naa naman siya gitik. Ang iyang kan ba? Ang para sa iyang kan ng maintenance, di ba? Naman siya.
Oo, gani. Pagkanaw daw to. Magtama daw to. Kasi gamay rin to kung may bigyan ng libra.
Ah.
Maglipong-lipong man siya ba?
Mm.
Maglaing di ka palanaw. Gusto ko mo daw magsugod ang maksus.
Oh. 80, 90. Tama. Mm-mm. What to do when a man is upset? While women directly process their feelings through talking, men need to do something while silently thinking about their feelings. Only after first thinking about his feeling will it benefit him to talk about his feelings. Palit. Kasi paliton. Ikaw. Mobe. Hila. Hila. Generally speaking, a man will feel the need to talk mainly when he thinks it will help convey information to solve a problem. If someone has offended or hurt him, he may feel the urge to talk to convey that this person did was wrong and that they should change. When a man talks while angry, he is generally heavily invested in being right. A man greatly misunderstands when a woman who is upset wants to talk because he mistakenly believes that she is saying he is wrong and should change. Why? Because when an emotional man feels the same need, he is blaming and accusing. Men must learn that when a woman shares feeling, no matter how angry and accusing she sounds, she is really asking for empathy. With this new understanding, a woman can appreciate the wisdom of not persisting in trying to draw a man out when he doesn't want to talk. Not only should she not question him, she should take special pains to postpone conversation gracefully even if he is willing to talk while emotionally upset. The old advice that warns couple. So man. The old advice that warns couple never to go to bed upset or angry can make a lot of trouble today. When a man is angry, I strongly recommend that a woman give him lots of space and let him sleep on it. Wait till he has cooled off a bit before talking together about what is bothering him. However, if a woman is upset and a man is centered enough to listen without getting upset, then it is advisable for him to initiate a conversation, ask questions, and draw her out by making it safe for her to talk. The old adage about not going to bed angry was mainly for men to understand about women. A woman didn't need to apply it because when her husband was upset, he usually went off to deal with his feelings alone. Men today are more in touch with their female tendencies, and when they are upset or angry, they sometimes want to talk. It is important for women to understand the wisdom of postponing these kinds of conversations, particularly if you have previously had negative and painful arguments. The skill of postponing is another skill your mother could not teach you. What to do What do you say when a man is upset? If a man is upset and wants to talk, a woman tends to assume that he will calm down through talking. This is true only if she agrees with what he says. Remember, men want to be right when they talk and are upset at the same time. If she is not prepared to agree with what he has to say, or at least appreciate his points, then it is important for her to postpone the conversation. Most women would not consider postponing a man from sharing his feelings because they would not want him to postpone them and if he could listen. If a woman postponed another woman, it is rude. If a man can passively listen and postpone a woman, it is rude. But if a woman feels that she can't agree with or at least appreciate his points when he is angry, then although it may feel rude to him, it is very important that she postponed him. How she handles the postponement is very important. She should not be accusatory because it will only inflame him. What she should do is briefly validate his feelings and then postpone discussion. Then, without saying anything else, she should walk away as if what she is doing is perfectly normal and everything is fine. This is a new relationship skill which allows him to save face and call off. What a woman shouldn't say. Number one, I can't talk to you when you're angry. Alo, mali dito akong ginabuhat eh. I can't talk to you when you are angry. Number two, you don't care about me. Why should I talk to you? Number three, you just want to be right. You don't hear what I say. Number three. Number four, you don't understand. Number five, I can't believe the way you are speaking to me. What a woman should say. You have a right to be upset. I need some time before I can talk.
Ayo,
Come on.
bakit kog mineral?
15.
Nagbili lang bugnaw.
What a woman would say, number two. I want to hear your feelings, but I need some time to sort out my own. Number three, let me take some time to appreciate what you said, and then I can talk about it. Number four, I need some time to think about what you are saying. Number five, I understand that you are upset, and I need some time before I can talk about this. Women should remember that, unlike themselves, men feel better by taking time to call off and think things through. Asking a man questions when he is upset and angry will tend just to make him angrier. The best time to talk with a man is after he's had a chance to think about a problem, has, has released any negative feelings, and has reconnected with more positive ones. If, after spending time by himself, he still seems upset, a woman should definitely not press for a discussion. Wait till the next day to ask him casually if something is going on that he wants to talk about. If he says it's nothing, but isn't being warm and loving, the chances are that he needs a little more time to feel accepted and appreciated for what he does for her before beginning to come back. Just as a cold may no longer be contagious but still produces symptoms, a man may have already resolved his feelings and solved his problems but needs to be loved and appreciated before his warm feelings re-emerge. Reassuring sounds. In learning to speak female, as one of the most supportive things a man can do is to be an alert listener prepared to offer simple gestures of support and reassurance. This can be as basic as a hug, eye contact, an occasional nod of the head, or sounds from him that translate into calm and soothing cues of understanding and female. When a woman talks, these are some of the sounds that makes her feel heard by a man. Each sound is accompanied by a short translation. He says, hmm, oh, uh-huh, hmm, huh, hmm, hmm, who, as in soon. She hears, I am thinking about that. I am amazed by that. Now I can understand. I am following you. I am right here with you. Keep going. I think I am getting it. Tell me more. I am so sorry that happened. I feel really bad about that. I can't believe that happened. You don't deserve to be treated that way. I am shocked that much have really hurt. So dapat ito lang pala yung sinasabi ng lalaki, no? Mga sounds lang. Yung mga, oh, ha, Ano ba? Simpleng ganun sa lalaki. By ano na, okay na. Ouch! Wow! Oh! Oh! I empathize with your pain. Really, that actually happened. That's too bad. I feel so sorry. What they did is wrong. You don't have to put up with it. That's exciting. How interesting. Mm. These various sounds should be expressed primarily when she poses. Practicing them can help a man duck and dodge. Instead of offering solution when she poses, he can focus on making a reassuring sound. If a man is not used to making this kind of sounds, it may feel very contrived at first. Once he sees that it works, it will, however, gradually become more automatic and natural. Sana, sana lahat sounds lang. Oo nga, oo nga, yang na-enjoy ko na na-enjoy ko sa iyahang mga songs. Ingani ra day ang lalaki, no? I-comfort ta. Dapat ingani lang ilahang kuan. Buhay lang sa, oh, ah. Enjoy ka yung kuan. Sometimes when a woman has strong feelings, she talks to discover what her feelings are. If her partner is a good listener and practice ducking and dodging and not interrupting, she can get it all out. Ay, te, naay photocopy. Mm. Mabangat ang kalipay. Tama dyan lagi niyang maburan na kalipay. Parang, Ilan dati? What's yun eh? So, naga-clean ko sa room karon wala namin na sa motel nalingaw kayo. Wala ko nag-joke yung good karon. Ah, lagi as in yang na-enjoy ko sa akong gibasa po. Daghan kong kuan. Wala ra day no. Ginaisip pa nako kung unsaon ako siya pag ano, pag-share nga uy ani lang dapat ang imong kuanon ha. Imong i-sounds. Wow, ouch. When a woman has strong feelings, sometimes when a woman has strong feelings, she talks to discover what her feelings are. If her partner is a good listener and practice ducking and dodging and not interrupting, she can get it all out. Lagi yun sa siya. For sure, mo react sila. Mo, feeling kayo na ako, i-share na lang ako siya, i-screenshot na ako siya, ano, i-screenshot sa picturean, tapos i-post, i-tag.
May bond paper.
Pen paper? Oh.
Bali 20 daw ka ng isa short.
Wala, A4 ni. Short ang kinahanglan.
O katandaway.
O pera A4.
Umay.
Mm-hmm.
Saya ka ulat. Yo. Umut eh, pakagawa. Ala, gikutin mo iro pala, ala. Ay, naka 400 din. Balik na akong cellphone.
Yara ah. Salamat. Ulo. Ulo. Mga react sila yang by noticing when she is feeling upset, tired, or overwhelmed, and then initiating a conversation by asking questions, it can help her a lot. Here are, here are questions a man can ask to initiate a conversation. They are, looks like you'd had a long day. What's the matter? What's going on? Do you need to talk about something? How was your day? Are you upset with me? Did I do something to bother you? Is there something we should talk about? In most cases, she will say something like, oh, it's not you. There is just so much going on, and then continue to talk about it. Even if she was a little upset with him, she will quickly tend to dismiss those feelings because he has initiated the conversation. When she feels supported, she can be very generous with her love. If a woman agrees to talk but is overwhelmed, having trouble getting to her feelings, or directing her negative emotions at him, here are five basic disarming questions. Unsa man? Naa. So, you. When she feels supported, she can be very generous with her love. If a woman agrees to talk but is overwhelmed, having trouble getting to her feelings, or directing her negative emotions at him, here are five basic disarming questions a man can use to draw her out and deflect her verbal bullets. How do you feel when? How else do you feel when? Tell me more. What would feel good to you? What do you need to feel supported by me? Requests like this impress a woman as supportive. When she doesn't feel the responsibility for initiating conversation, she can much more efficiently move through her feelings. A woman's need for downtime. After a woman has expressed her feelings, she may not even know exactly what she has said until some minutes later. That's because she is working things through as she is talking. She is in a process. Once she has finished, she then has a chance to look back at what she has shared. Generally speaking, if a woman is upset and shares her feelings, it takes her about 15 minutes to reflect on what she said. After such consideration, she begins to appreciate a man's strong support. However, if a man says something in mail which is bound to be provocative, during that 15 minutes, it can undo all the good he did. It will be as though he gave a gift and then took it back. And to a woman, that is worse than not giving it in the first place. That 15 minutes is a very vulnerable time for a woman. It is a time for her to reflect on what she has said. If a man is trying to tell her that she is wrong, or if she feels she has to defend herself, then it is very hard for her to see her mistakes and release any negative feeling she is holding on to. How men learn from their mistakes. In a similar way, when a man makes a mistake and a woman is on his case to remind him, he is not free to reflect on his error and plan to learn from it. When a woman corrects a man's behavior, he instinctively moves to defend it by returning to his cave where only male is spoken. Women generally feel a strong urge to correct a man's behavior. Instinctively, they will offer advice or criticize his decision or behavior, not knowing that they are preventing him from making the inner adjustment he needs to make. Ilagay jud ay mo kung ano. Di jud ay na kung anong siya yung atuon. How we influence each other. When men and women begin to understand their differences in new and positive light, learn each other's languages, and practice new relationship skills, they are able to draw out of their partners the best they have to offer. As a result, both men and women are more fulfilled. A man is greatly fulfilled because feels successful in supporting his partner, and she feels fulfilled because she has created a relationship in which to grow and thrive. They may still speak different languages, but harmony grows as they begin learning how to correctly translate and convey important messages. As we have discussed, when a woman can understand a man's behavior and is able to express a greater acceptance of him, over time he begins to change and become more attentive. Her non demanding attitude draws him out into the relationship like a magnet. When a man begins to duck and dodge by correctly interpreting his partner's feeling, he is able to listen to her with greater empathy and comprehension. At the most basic level of her being, she feels seen, heard, understood, and supported. Her feminine spirit soars. As a result, she is able to be more loving and accepting of her man. As he increasingly understands her, he quite naturally begins to share more with her. While the skills may seem unnatural in the beginning, In time, they will become very automatic. They are merely the extension of social and language skills we have already been using for centuries. In the next chapter, you'll understand why men forget things and women remember every detail of men's mistake. Ay, dapat siya di ay rintan na yung mga kamistikan. Move on. And that's for today, yang. I'm done. Sa pagbabasa ko, babasa ulit ako ng Bible. Psalm. Psalm chapter 12. Prayer against evil tongues. For the leader upon the 8th of a Psalm of David. Help, Lord, for no one loyal remains. The faithful have vanished from the human race. Those who tell lies to one another speak with deceiving lips and a double heart. May the Lord cut off on all deceiving lips and every boastful tongue. Those who say, by our tongues we prevail. When our lips speak, who can lord it over us? Because they rob the weak and the needed groan. I will now arise, says the Lord. I will grant safety to whoever longs for it. The promises of the Lord are sure, silver refined in a crucible, silver purified 7 times. Lord, protect us always. Preserve us from this generation. On every side of wicked strut, the shameless are strode by all. Hiram ko ana tuhon ti or rent ko if mahumanang. Rent jud. Kuha na nata kaani. Ora man ta kaani. Salamat pud kaayo. Ganahan ka ano. Yang ako pud ganahan jud kay ko mo grow man gud ka as ano no. Mo grow ka as a person ba by learning sa imuhang kanang kuan. Chapter ano. Revelation chapter 5. The scroll and the lamp. I saw a scroll in the right hand of the one who sat on the throne. It had writing on both sides and was sealed with 7 seals. Then I saw a mighty angel who proclaimed in a loud voice, who is worthy to open the scroll and break its seals? But no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to examine it. I shed many tears because no one was found worthy to open the scroll or to examine it. One of the elders said to me, do not weep. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed in enabling him to open the scroll with its 7 seals. Then I saw standing in the midst of the throne, in the 4 living creatures, in the elders, a lamb that seemed to have been slain. He had 7 horns and 7 eyes. These are the spirits of God sent out into the whole world. He came and received the scroll from the right hand of the one who sat on the throne. When he took it, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. Each of the elders held a harp and gold bowls filled with incense, which are the prayers of the holy ones. They sang a new hymn. Worthy are you to receive the scroll and to break open its seals. For you were slain, and with your blood you purchased for God those for every tribe and tongue, people and nation. You made them a kingdom and priests for our God, and they will reign on earth. I looked again and heard the voices of many angels who surrounded the throne, and the living creatures and the elders. They were countless in number, and they cried out in a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches, wisdom and strength, honor and glory and blessing. Then I heard every creature in heaven, and on earth, and under the earth, and in the sea, everything in the universe, cry out, to the one who sits on the throne and to the Lamb, be blessing and honor, glory and might, forever and ever. The four living creatures answered, Amen, and the elders fell down and worship. Mao jud nice kayo mas maka-become or better person ta. Mas kuan pod siya yang kung halimbawa ang kuano couple both sila magkanang magtinabangay no. Wala jud ka ng mga kuan, wala jud mga broken marriages na mahitabo. And good morning, Yang! I'm done. Continue na ko puhon sa next chapter naman. Nauman nakadagdimpyo. Maayong adlaw. God bless ya sa imuhang marriage. Bye-bye. Bye-bye sa tanan.